As you can see, I'm recording.
Yes.
Today's cold opening. Morgana. Can't remember whose daughter she is. She's the cousin of Maude, and she's the one that was mistaken by Ned after Ned's death. Spoiler. As you remember, she drove away with fake Mo, who she later ditched. And she's hooked up with a guy called Bogdan. They're in New Mexico, and she's starting a startup business to sell t-shirt cannons. She was on the phone with Chairman Fu Chengyu of Sinopec, attempting to get this oil magnate to invest in her t-shirt company. Would you like to be Morgana or Fu Chengyu?
I'll be Morgana.
I was banking on that.
Yeah, thought you might have been.
Action.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
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 How are you?
I'm alright. How are you doing?
I'm good. I am wondering.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, can I speak to the biggest boss?
Oh, you want to speak to Fu Chengyu, do you?
Yeah, please.
Do you have an appointment?
Yes.
Alright, I'll put you through. Insert music here.
Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin. Hobgoblin.
Yeah, I want.
Will you get me a drink?
Yeah, what do you want? Sprite. Mountain Dew.
Lilt.
Lilt's a bit bitter for me.
Oh, be quiet. They're here.
Listen, I'm a very busy man running one of China's biggest oil companies. What can I do for you, young lady?
I was wondering, Mr. Yu, if you would like
Chengyu. Name is Chengyu.
Chengyu?
Chengyu. It's one word. It's my name. My last name.
Chenghu.
My family name.
Chenghu.
Cheng stands at first base. That's the joke. What you lot do all the time.
Cheng me?
Can I help you or not? Listen, I've just made a very bad deal, and unfortunately, I've just lost $688 million on a misjudged oil purchase earlier today. So, as you can see, I'm at the end of my tether, and I don't need any more soft drink shenanigans from you lot. Who are you, and what do you want?
I have a crazy proposal for you that will guarantee that you make all that money back. Have you ever thought about wearing a t-shirt?
I'm wearing one right now. You won't believe it. It's bloody hot here.
Let's say you weren't and you wanted to be wearing one, but you didn't have one, but someone across maybe like 600 meters away had one, and through the means of propulsion could get it to you. Am I talking your language yet?
Well, not my first language, but I'm pretty adept at English, and it sounds like that's what you're using right now. If I'm to understand, you'll be somehow propelling these t-shirts across large distances to people.
Yes, and I think they will be popular at all kinds of sports days, even ones in Manchester in 2014. The Wigan Warriors rugby team are playing, and somebody comes out and says, we've got some t-shirt cans, I hope nobody ends up like Ned Flanders 1.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
To be honest though, the loss is not as big as some had speculated.
I disagree. Would you like to invest?
Well, let me tell you, my purchase of crude oil was at 288 million barrels, so that's a yes. I'll take 6.
You can have the first 4. I'm working with Moldovan Fox to produce a couple more. For now, the prototype is good. It currently only fires vests, but we're working our way up to t-shirts.
Is there a way you can make it insanely powerful?
Oh, it's going to be the most powerful gun in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, you seem like you're talking my kind of second language.
Exactly. Death-proof.
I'll see you, bye.
Bye.
Maude, it's a more good cast, season 5. Just learning to be more judgeful. The Laurie Goodman's illegitimate children of her brother, the Radamanthustina, Eliza Kest, and the other Turnbulls, Super Secret and Landers Clipper, Ookie Eye Blinking. Maybe she thinks that Ned is cuddly. Valentine's Day's a long way away. There we have it. We did the cold open and I sang the song, and we're in season 5, episode 4. Who'd have thought it?
45 in total.
Well, that's good. For everyone who's keeping count. Hello, good morning, and shay of joy clom of jay shoym. Prohibit yourself from a teensy bit of gammon and lamb, my companion. Brought to you by Jeff Appel's Sunderland. The boondocks have fallen silent. What did Jeff leave there? The air is pungent, a world gone silent, once inhabited by 96% of all world's creatures. All hail corporate imperialism. Sponsors: Scott Walker, R.I.P., 30th century mother lover. Tilt, The Drift, profane, sacred. I want to punch a slab of meat.
China's Sinopec Group, the 550 million blunder creators from 2004.
Don't ask, don't tell. TEPCO, secretly poisoning you for several decades. A new brand slogan for the TEPCO Group is the energy for every challenge. The new logo of the TEPCO Group represents improvements to the familiar name of TEPCO and its inherent brand value. Hydrogen, it's safe this time.
Yanis Xenakis.
And finally, King Louis XIV for all your fancy goods. One king, one law, one faith. To the end, he mercilessly cracked down on the country's Protestants, which made up almost 5% of the population. Still, I fear we get off target. You want a Mauditorium?
Yes.
Welcome to the Mauditorium, the Maud Flanders Internet Museum theme park and database, the world's greatest and premier Maud Flanders Internet Museum database theme park and hotcake fishery. Just over one of over 58 MFIMDBs around the globe and space, currently under reconstruction after mysterious toaster fires. We've always been here. Find us in Worsley Mesness, next to Netto Car Park, behind the bins of discount shopping area of the town, alongside cash, slaughter, and economical intoxicants. Okay, give me a number.
81.
81, you say?
Inexpensive rot gut.
Good for what ails you, and it ails for what goods you. 81. Maude was one of the people who missed Marge's treats during the bake sale.
That is an accurate statement. You mean missed in the sense that she missed the absence of them, not that she was left out of the treats. The treats were not available. Delicious Rice Krispie squares, if I remember correctly, because Marge is in the slammer because of Maud and Helen.
Exactly.
That was the first time we saw her regret anything, I think, or have any kind of empathy towards Marge. It was a big moment for Maud.
She's not prone to regretting her actions or suggesting that maybe she should have done something different. She's quite an arrogant lady in many ways.
Yeah, I can't think of another time that she has, that we've seen so far, where she's regretted something on screen. Even letting Ned walk out to his death with the comet, there was no, she just walked out with her arms up, open, like, here I am. There was no, I'm really sorry about that or anything.
Just raising your hands up in the air and waving them like you just don't care is not the same as apologizing.
No, or hiring the Japanese mafia to deal with a minor problem. Unapologetic. Add that to the theme song, unapologetic.
Typing it in right now.
Unapologetic rot gut.
We'll throw in that other word just for our own fun. So, as you know, we're still in space. And how are we doing, John? John Poop. What? Where are we going?
Going to the dark side of the moon.
Oh, yeah, aren't we? What are we going to do there?
We're going to forgive Erggun his skiddy undies back. Oh, boys, stop making fun of him. He's been locked in a box for months. And who knows what even underpants he's wearing right now. He might have had to borrow some. Let's go find him on dark side of bloody moon as fast as we can.
I thought we were already there.
Oh yeah, boys, you know, remember last week we landed, didn't we? But we didn't go off. We had a rest in here. Yeah, I know that. I'm just messing with you. We've been here for about a week now. It's probably time for some off to get off and see where he is.
Well, boys, I don't want to rush anybody, but I gotta get to the dark side of the moon, and then I gotta find a star child, Matthew McConaughey, or I ain't never going to get to ascend into Twyler's next phase of emancipation.
I'll express this to you as well, Jeff. We're already on the dark side of the moon.
I don't want to get to the dark side of the moon. I want to ascend, not bend. Ascend, not bend. Ascend, not bend.
Well, we'll deal with Statman's arc first, because he's been waiting longer. He's not seen Erggun for ages, so...
Oh, boys, brilliant. Here's a stat for you. My love for you increased by 9%, but it's down overall for all shit you've done.
Oh well, let's do this.
All right, listen, John, you can come with us. We've already established the Hobgoblin and his dog wife, girlfriend, are staying here.
I'll stay here. I don't give a shit about Erggun.
Yeah, we know that, Jeff. You know, just out of interest, what did you do on that island before you left?
I'm not telling you.
Oh, it sounds like someone's sowing seeds for future plots.
Mysterious.
Mysterious, isn't it? Right, John.
Hey, me?
No, not the other John.
Oh, boys, me?
Yeah, you, John.
Me?
No, John, we've just established this. It's not you. This is why you shouldn't have two characters with the same name in the show, because it gets very confusing. Come on, John.
Yeah, especially an audio show.
I thought I wasn't coming.
John Poop 17, JP17. You stay there in the chair. Statman John, you come with us.
Oh, okay, boys. I knew that from the start. He's a stupid, isn't he? That other John.
He is. He's still coming.
John, sit down.
Oh, I thought I was coming with you.
Don't stop.
Well,
You're coming with us.
Envelope's a bit of a wild card. You can keep her eye on this John, and we'll take
Envelope.
Statman John.
Envelope, can you keep your eye on this, John?
Yeah.
Not that John. No, not Statman John. John Poop.
The other
I
John.
wasn't coming with you.
John, you're not coming with us. You're not coming with us, John Poop. Sit down. John Statman's coming with us.
Oh, boys, I knew that from the start. Come on, let's go.
All right. John Poop, sit down. Envelope. Can you just keep holding, please?
Yeah. I think we're good.
Drawbridge is down. All right. Come on,
the
John.
door's locked.
Statman John. Let's go. John Poop, can you open the door, please?
No.
Well, I'll come with you. John, in the case of an emergency, you're going to have to do a quick takeoff, like in the films, right?
Oh, yeah, like in the films.
Yes, like in the films, you can be the man in the chair. And if the man in the chair is not in the chair, all kinds of bad stuff goes down. So stay in your chair.
Oh, boys. Can we just go? Oh, can we just go?
Yeah,
We're trying. We should probably get going.
All right, all right, so, just before we go, listen. Here, I've just found this tiny little piece of paper. Can you use the magnifying app on your phone to like zoom in on it and see what it says?
Oh yeah. Without alibis from spooky distance, I am everywhere and nowhere. How is life in the wee principality? What of quantum pence?
That's a bit weird, isn't it? It sounds like it might be from Jack Dead. He's off in the spooky wee quantum realm, Marvel PLC. Here's the quote on the piece of paper, though. This is the one that we want to read now.
The lie is the future, one may venture to say. To tell the truth is, on the contrary, to say what is or what will have been, and it would instead prefer the past.
So what do you make of that?
It's a nice quote. The lie is the future.
Because it's not true, it hasn't happened.
It's true. And we have seen future lies a couple of times now. We had a diary from the future the other week that must have been a lie. To tell it, I don't know. I think Maude's a great character. What do you think?
The lie is the future, one may venture to say. To tell the truth is, on the contrary, to say what is or what will have been, and it would instead prefer the past. I've got to say, that's pretty dense from Jack. He's kind of stumped us here. Yeah, good work, Jack. 1 point to you. Moving on.
He's winning.
He is winning, finally. He's got one. He's got us over on it. The lie. The future is a lie. Of course, though. The past's also a lie. Jack knows that. I'm not sure why he's coming down on the side of the past. There is only now, the eternal golden now. What is the now for today? It is content. Do you want to give these good people some context for this content?
Sure. We're in what I would refer to as the autumn of Maude's life. We're not quite in the winter yet, but 2 random appearances, 2 fun, sort of forgotten about random appearances. One of them, she might have a job. One of them, she's attending a football game. That's it.
The job one caught me off guard, although we had briefly discussed that maybe she did something like that. But the football one very much caught me off guard, but we'll get to that later.
what I would refer to as the best blunder in Mauldcast history so far.
Oh, and there's been a lot. It's not quite up there with the blunder. Fu Chengqiu, when he lost that $688 million accidentally buying the wrong sort of oil.
Exactly.
Clip 1. Bart Star. Hearing test being administered by Maude? ? She is in. Where is she? Sat at the table with a machine facing her are Grandpa, Jasper, an old Jewish man, all wearing headphones. Okay, gentlemen, says Maude as she lifts her hand. I want you to raise your hand when you hear the tone. Old Jewish man points feebly and says, you can't tell me what to do. Maude ignores him and sets off the operating machine. She stares at him first, then she squints her eyes very much like, oh, can I not? First, very audible tone, no response. Ian Max Stone Graham is involved in this, isn't he? The bush rustler. Grandpa shouts, nothing yet. They are all deaf, ha ha ha. Maude cranks it up to 11. No, cranks it up to 3, at which point people walking by grab their ears. Jasper slowly raises his hand. Grandpa shakes his head at him and he puts it back down again. Why is she there? What training has she had? Is she going to make any notes?
They're the big questions. I think they're at the convention centre, the Springfield Convention Centre. There's something to do with Bart. I think Wolfcastle ends up calling Bart Tubby, and it leads him to join the football team at school instead of the cheerleading squad this time, and that's why they're there. So it's like a health-based convention. So I'm assuming this is a free hearing test, which I'm then assuming means that she isn't getting paid either, that it's a volunteer situation. It's likely her and Ned and Tim and Helen turned up first thing and offered their volunteer services, and this is just sort of where she got placed, rather than her having a specific connection to hearing aids. But we have said in the past maybe that she's had some sort of profession based with them.
We've speculated that she studied pharmaceutical nonsense over at Oral Roberts University and maybe even held down some kind of pharmaceutical job for a little while. She seems like she knows how the machine works.
Yeah, she seems, but this could be her 20th go. If she's been there all day, I imagine it's not rocket science. After a while, she knows she's basically turning a dial.
But isn't she going to write down whether any of these people is the clipboard on the floor? Does she not have one?
It doesn't look like she has one. I don't know if it's a free health situation. I don't think they would be taking notes. It's not really for them. I imagine it's people would approach her and say, I think I have a hearing problem. And they would find out if that was. I don't think it's necessarily, let's take notes on how everybody's hearing is.
Is she just doing this out of the goodness of her heart?
I think Ned's doing it out of the goodness of his heart, and Maude has been dragged into that. I think Maude would have, very much like me, cut off for feeling good about doing stuff like this and feeling positive is probably about 3 hours. And then she's just, well, I'm bored now. I need something to entertain myself, at least. What's in it for Maude?
WWIM?
DB. I think at this point she is probably a bit bored, and that's why she gives old Jewish man that snotty look, which is quite fun. We see a lot of sides to Maude in this clip. We see a professional side. We see the courteous side, because she calls them gentlemen. She's very respectful. And then we see the way that she looks at the old Jewish man is classic Maude, the dismissive nature.
I can imagine when Jasper put his hand up, which is the funniest part of the clip, the look on his face when he puts his hand up, is he guessing? Yeah. Has he heard it? And Dave just shakes his head and he pulls it back down again. I can imagine more just head in hands. Oh, Lordy. Oh, I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
The noise must be causing her some kind of pain. If everybody around is having these sort of jarring reactions to it.
Do you think she's wearing earphones, earplugs, earbuds, or do you think this is an exception? She doesn't normally have to go up this high.
She probably doesn't have to usually do this. It's just Grandpa and his pals messing around with her, basically, isn't it? They can clearly hear it as loud as everybody else, but they want to just be stubborn about it, I think.
Are they being stubborn, or are they punking her? Are they laughing? Are they laughing, giggling behind their hands?
Bit of both, I would say more. It's that stubborn Grandpa characteristic, and I do like that Jasper's more sort of innocent and nice, and he gets bullied down by the other two into participating.
I genuinely thought the joke was that they couldn't hear so well.
I thought they were messing with her. She also, in a season 8 callback, she talks about raising her arm and then raises her arm.
She does. She raises a single arm. She's not raising both arms in joy, but it's still a signature move in a way. A signature move. Given that these people behind now, of course, they weren't expecting it, but it was caught. They were writhing in agony. Maude doesn't react, and this must be irking Abe to no ends. If he's gone there with the intent, express idea of making this poor woman suffer, the fact that she's just stonewalling him, like, not today, Grandpa. What's that?
It's good. He's met his match here. She's not the one, basically. He thinks that she'll match his level of, because we know inside that she doesn't care if these other people are suffering. Like the background people, she'll just keep turning that dial up. She won't lose this.
The experiment must continue.
So I think it's a bit of that. Again, it's Nedless Maude is way more sinister than the Maude that we see as part of the Flanders family.
A sinister, Nedless Maude.
Yeah.
Riding across the moors.
This is her being a Goodman, not a Flanders.
There's a streak, isn't there? There's a streak that runs deep. But a couple of things, I think. So Jasper gave them the house, or sold them the house. So he knows Maude quite well. So I wonder why they decided to do it to her and not one of the many other people. And Grandpa was invited to the house on Christmas Day. Now, that's clearly before as well, because the kids are very small. So has he just forgotten, or is he just ice cold?
I don't think he stayed for dinner, and he's both senile and self-involved. He is just an old Homer quite a lot of the time. So I just think he just won't remember her. Whereas Jasper, I would argue that's why Jasper raises his hand, because he does have a connection to her. He does have, they're not best of friends, but, he has that sort of religious connection. So there's sort of like an unspoken bond between them. And so I think Jasper feels bad, but the old Jewish man certainly doesn't, and neither does Abe.
Do you find it strange in 2021 that the old Jewish man still doesn't have a name?
He probably does. He's probably been called Heimlich Jewison or something really lazy. His surname is probably Old Jewish Man.
Oh, one
Disco
word.
Neck.
Old Jewish Munson. No, because I typed it in.
Comic book guy got a name. They started naming all the unnamed characters, so I'd be surprised if he hadn't been given something at some point.
I don't think he has. Anyway, moving on.
1 second. I just like to blow my nose.
Could too. I've written, is Maude even in this clip? I literally got halfway through this clip and was about to, in fact, I watched the whole clip and I was just about to message you and say, yes, it's funny, but why is this in here? Do you know that Maude is not in this clip? And then I watched it for the second time and it was a revelation. So they're at a baseball stadium, Little League, I'm guessing. Flanders is all coached up. Is that Maude? I said. The hair and the clothes are kind of different. Is this somehow Laurie? Is that why Zaz has included this clip? Homer slowly shouts, Flanders. He turns and Homer points, the game's out there. Made you look. They are just words, Neddy. Ned says to himself, as a Duff beer can hits him in the back of the head. And then, as if by magic, Maude appears. The woman who before was wearing a blue and a green top is now wearing standard Maude issue clothes. We've had Maude jump around before. We've had her move position regularly. She does that with both impossible and possible versions of that. We've had her change clothes a number of times, but this is stone cold. She's sat in exactly the same position, but somehow she's managed to change her entire outfit, her top, her sweater, and her skirt, and her shoes as well. Lisa says to Homer, that's so mean. I know, and I got him right in the uh-oh. So Maude is just sitting there watching Homer shout at Ned, then throw a beer can at his head. And then she's got to have some opinion. Ned starts angrily climbing the bleachers. He pushes the back of the hedge mod out of the way by the looks of it. She doesn't even turn her head. Oh, come on. Sloppy animation, sloppy writing, GTFO I've written.
Welcome to season 9, which I said something about it being mediocre last week, which I'll take back because it is still very funny. Homer just starts becoming a worse person and just doing stuff like this. Like in Homer Loves Flanders, Flanders was annoyed at Homer because he was being like too nice, and this is just like the opposite. This is just the easiest way of doing it. Like, let's just have him just yell stuff at him. This sets up Homer becoming the coach of the football team,
Okay.
like the American football team. Rod and Todd are both on the team.
Nice.
And Homer cuts them both almost instantly. He just starts cutting people. And somebody looked recently, I only saw this like a week or two ago, that Rod and Todd are wearing, one of them's wearing 66 and the other one's wearing 6.
Nice.
They're stood together with the devil's curly numbers. And the thing that makes me think that this whole situation is way more of a organized, structured, like we're uncovering the real secrets here is when you first look at that incorrect Maude, who do you see?
I see Edna Krabappel.
Correct. That's just Maude dressed as Edna Krabappel with the hair colour of Edna Krabappel,
Yeah.
which is a very unusual blunder to make. Maybe this has happened with other characters and we're only noticing because we've honed in on Maude and Edna's playing a big role in Maude's life, obviously. It's just adding to the insult later on when Edna pretends that she doesn't know Maude. We've got Maude and Edna merged into one character, Medna, but it remains unacknowledged.
It's a good catch. It's very prophetic. It's There's a dude who does these videos called Collative Learning that are all about The Shining. He's got like 50 videos about all the bits in The Shining. He would probably do like 2 hours on that.
It is very Kubrick-esque. Like there's some things in The Shining, isn't there, where like the table and the lamp are in different places when it's Jack's point of view and when it's Wendy's point of view. There's certain things like that, or like it's a different lamp and it's obviously very intentional. And this to me feels unintentional. It feels like whoever was colouring this thought, who's that supposed to be? Oh, it's Edna, coloured. And then it got passed on to a different person who thought, who's that supposed to be? Oh, it's Maude. And it just culminated into this beautiful mistake.
A beautiful mistake, which led to 2 different Korean animators losing their job.
Yes, fired for that blunder. I do want to, before we move on, is Ned having some kind of relapse with the anger issues because he's furious, like he's going to beat the shit out of Homer, and Homer is like scared of Ned?
Absolutely.
Like Homer's fearful, so that both of those things are unusual, but I do like that it's Homer just literally having to deal with the consequences of his actions immediately. But the fact that he pushes past her, I don't think he pushes her head. It's like Luan or whoever's next to Maude, but she gets pushed in the, chain of events. And yeah, she doesn't even try. But to be fair, when he had the entire breakdown in front of the town, she stayed silent then too. She's just doing a Maude
things
thing.
outright. But this isn't in public. This is neither the time nor place for me to express these opines.
There is possibly the chance that it's Edna dressed as Maude, but it seems like you've got the broccoli hair, so I'm going to say that it is Maude dressed as Edna.
I think it is Maude. It's Maude. The hair and the face is more Maude than Edna, but the clothes. All I can say is like, thankfully, heads rolled, and whichever spooky ghost was appearing from beyond the grave, allowing us to have this little moment that we only knew by looking back. It's almost as if this was planted, wasn't it?
The lie is the future, one may venture to say. To tell the truth is, on the contrary, to say what is or what will have been, and it would instead prefer the past.
Catch dead, right in a hamster, slipping between the blades of grass. Tiny dead, deconstructing everything, coming to you to tell you what's what.
Jack, you sly old dog up there in the spooky distance. God. The Nelson Mandela effect, isn't it?
It is.
My goodness.
What does the FedEx logo really look like?
Exactly. Clip 3. The true Mrs. Nahasapeemapetilons. A brief one. We are in a garden, Simpsons? Question mark, question mark. A wedding is about to take place. An Indian one, I would guess, from the amount of Indian people. It is a summer's afternoon. Maudie is in her Sunday best, on the groom's side probably, but then are the Milhouse is with Manjula, Lisa in a sari, Sideshow Mel, Skinner, and Edna.
I didn't spot Sideshow Mel. It is. I've put Maude at a Hindu wedding. I can believe it. The Maude Appul connection isn't something we've looked at too deeply. We've touched on it with the immigration episode, but there's obviously some kind of off-screen friendship, given that the way he speaks to Ned at the funeral. Like, I know it's about the squishy points, but that obviously means that she frequents the Quickie Mart a lot, so they must have some kind of
Frequence.
bond. Frequence.
Frequence. I believe it's pronounced frequence.
Frequence. Maude. Edna, Skinner, Luan, and Pyro and Mel seem to be the only friends of Appul from Springfield. Everybody else seems to be either a relative or maybe like a close Indian friend that we don't know. So it's a very select amount of Springfield characters who've been invited to this wedding, and Ned and Maude are amongst them.
Very nice, isn't it? And I think there is a relationship there. I think they go way back. Do you think they first met in the Quickie Mart, or do you think that there was some of the social gathering in which Indian man Appul met American woman Maude?
No, I do think it's just a Quickie Mart situation. I think for all the mysteries of Springfield and all these like mysterious character connections Maude has, I think the Appul one is very straightforward. I think she just knows him from work. We don't know where the Quickie Mart is, but I'm going to assume it's the local convenience store for that neighborhood. So yeah, I bet she goes, because we've seen her at the Try and Save with the photos before, but I can't think of where you would do like a Tesco big shop in Springfield. I think it would be like the Try and Save or somewhere. So I think Maude probably does spend a lot of time at the Quickie Mart getting little bits for the family. He probably knows about her ice cream thing.
I bet she does.
Yeah.
That's a wink.
A Maude wink.
Maude wink.
But yeah, so I think that's why she's at this wedding, because they have some kind.
What about the Indian community in Springfield? Is it large, and are they all played by white men and women? It's
certainly not large anymore. No, the Indian community in Springfield is very small. What's strange about this is the Indian characters we've seen before aren't at this wedding. So Sanjay, who is Appul's brother, who's voiced by Harry Shearer, who got off scot-free. There's a kid called Jamshed, who is like Appul's nephew. And Appul has a niece as well, whose name I can't remember, but you see her quite a lot in the early seasons. And none of those Indian characters make it to the wedding, but everybody else at this wedding is Indian. I think it was just to not make a point, but maybe pat themselves on the back for doing this sort of, we're going to do a really cultured Indian episode and show how an Indian wedding ceremony accurately takes place. How many Indian people are you going to involve? It's going to be a great episode.
Clip 4. The enormous garden now has Indian man Appul riding on an elephant in all kinds of fancy gear, including a very nice turban. Maude and Ned stare attentively as the elephant passes. We see a classic back of the elephant's headshot as he passes, but Maudie, it's gone. Ned's still there. In an exasperated manner, Indian man Appul waves and sighs, "Hello, everyone. What a happy..." I won't do the voice. "Hello, everyone. What a happy, happy day." "Wow," says Bart in forced callback. "I wish I had an elephant." "Lisa, you did. His name was Stampy. You loved him." "Oh, yes," they reply joylessly. Cut back to walking elephant. Maudie's back. Hooray. Elephant sees mouse, raises leg. "Ooh," gasps crowd. No Maude. Elephant crushes mouse. Nice squelchy sound as he rubs it into the ground. "Lucky mouse," Appul says sadly as he shakes his head. Strange jokes here. The Stampy thing reminded me of Snyder last week. It's a callback to the fact that they forget everything and everything resets. Bart has this desire for an elephant, but Lisa seems to remember the actual continuity of Springfield for some reason here. She does it again, actually. She's the only one. When Snowball 2 dies, spoiler, she gets 3 more different cats in that episode and they all die. So she settles on a cat that looks exactly like Snowball 5, looks exactly like Snowball 2. So she said, "I'm just going to call you Snowball 2. And Principal Skinner walks past and says something like, "You can't do that. That's cheating and that's lazy." And she calls him Principal Tamzarian. So Lisa seems to remember stuff. Have you heard this theory that the whole of The Simpsons is really being told through Lisa's perspective?
No, but I'd like to see it because I think there's some merit to that.
I just made that up, but I guessed that someone would have had that, but I typed it into Google and apparently they haven't. So if anyone wants to start that rumor that The Simpsons, similar to the Wonder Years, is told entirely from Lisa's point of view, maybe in flashback, that would do us all fine. You don't have to think too hard about it. I was going to ask you any tough questions.
Just put it on paper.
But we've got another example of Maude simply disappearing. Did she just dash off? Like whenever, like when the camera, she's just gone.
Maybe she's scared of mice. Because she is there when the elephant walks past, and then she's there at the end of the clip. But in that middle bit, it is possible that she is still there. We're just not seeing her. Like she's obviously not left the ceremony. She's still around somewhere, so she could just be at that little buffet table at the back. I have just realised that this is the Simpsons garden, and the next time they have a wedding, they do a similar thing for Otto and his girlfriend in season 11, and all the stuff from Appul's wedding is still there in the garden. But Maude has died at that point, so that's sort of fun to note. The next time that they do this, the next time they have a Simpsons backyard wedding, she is no longer with us.
She'll be watching. She'll be watching from up on high. Yeah. How did they get the elephant in the garden?
How did they get the elephant in the garden last time? The garden's big.
Garden big enough to house an elephant?
Sometimes. There's that line in the Family Guy Simpsons crossover. Brian says something like, I'm going to go outside to that tree that's sometimes there, but sometimes in a different place.
Very clever.
Yeah,
very
smart,
clever.
witty. I only made one note about this clip. It's hard to tell because she's so far away, but she seems to be wide-eyed, and I imagine this is like a spectacle for her. It's not like anything she's ever experienced before. That's why she was on board for it. It would make sense for Maude to not want to try new things, but she is quite culturally open to stuff. We've seen her in a sombrero. You know, we've seen her she's been to the Twin Cities. I said that this is the pocket bread of days out for her.
I think so. However, she would think none of the religion was real, of course. She would think it's all a little bit silly. And all of these people sadly are going to hell. But what a spectacle.
I imagine she thinks the wedding is real, but they got married in front of the wrong god.
I bet she's got her fingers crossed for everyone.
Exactly.
I've got a shot here, but it's from the next clip where she looks like her eyes might be a little bit fuzzy as well. I wondered if something else was going on, maybe tears. Give her the benefit of the doubt. Clip 5. In garden, tent flaps are pulled back and beautiful Manjula emerges. Most beautiful Simpsons face, ? Long and slender, also wearing blue eyeshadow. Indian man Appul gasps. Ooh. Manjula, Ducky and Dozy Maude looks on. Manjula says, remember me? And Appul, I won't do the voice. He says, obviously not. Homer enters. This is very funny. Homer enters an elephant mask and extra arms. He smashes through, knocking everything off the table. This wedding angers me. Is he trying to help? All will die unless it is stopped. Maude cranes her neck to look with no expression. The Indian contingent is not impressed. Sarah Wiggum, clearly empty chair next to Marge. Appul, head in hands. Oh God, please listen to me, shouts Homer. That's making ghost noises and leaning into people's faces. What is Maude's take on Ganesh and his appearance?
This is what I mean about, there's something called jerk-ass Homer that they say is like the later seasons where he's just completely obnoxious and selfish, and this is definitely the dawn of that. But it's still very funny at this point. There's something funny about the idea that he thinks this will work. I don't know where he got the costume from, or if he was planning this in advance. Because at this point, he told Appul that he was going to stop the wedding somehow. This is how he decided to do it. Manjula is here. This is the debut of adult. You've seen her once as a child in like a flashback.
Okay.
Here she is as an adult making her Springfield debut, and Maude was there to watch her on. which is like a sort of changing of the guard, because Manjula, for about 12, 13 seasons, Manjula was the woman that that Marge
Kaching.
would talk to. She was like her closest friend after Maude died. Not anymore. No one's talked about Manjula. Everybody's talking about Appul and where Appul's going to go, but there's 9 other people in that family, and we don't know what's going to happen there. But yeah, she does look very happy, Maude, to be here. She looks like she has a good feeling about them as a couple.
Yeah, she's quite open-minded. Do you think she's happy that Appul's marrying an Indian? Is she racist? That's what I'm asking.
Is she? In the same way that she judges everybody. Like, she thinks what they're doing is wrong to the wrong god, but only in the same way that she thinks what Homer's doing is wrong. And I think she has respect for Appul. I think she thinks he's an honest to God Indian man.
How right she is.
I think if Maude likes you, she likes you. It doesn't matter. She would see them as sort of quirks. She would still be acknowledging that, oh, I have an Indian friend. Isn't that quirky? But I think the friendship is genuine. She hasn't just decided, I need an Indian friend, I'll befriend this guy. Manjula, I think Manjula has the same face as Maude, but in a different colour. But
Really?
there's the face is sort of, and I think I've heard them speak about this, like they spent a lot of time trying to make Manjula look very attractive, which, yeah, we said this with Kashmir. Our cousin said this with Kashmir. It's hard when the cartoons are so cartoony to try and make them look attractive within that world.
Within The Simpsons, well, we have talked about this before, because they're very round face, and so they go for the long kind of pointy. But Maude's got the kind of like ducky thing, and so does Kashmir, that make her less so, whereas they've kind of dialed back the ducky overbite for Manjula. So if anything, she's the most human-looking character.
Manjula at this point was voiced by the Saturday Night Live actress Jan Hooks, who is unapologetically white. But Jan
Nobody
Hooks,
shall be spurred when Appul gets
well,
when he breaks.
she sneakily got out of the whole controversy by dying about 10 years ago.
Nope, we'll cancel her from beyond the grave.
But then Tress MacNeille took over. I think Jan Hooks appeared like 3 times as Manjula, and then Tress MacNeille took over.
What do you make of that face?
I was going to say there's a bit of Leopold in there with the cheek. It's very sticky out here, the cheek.
Scars.
Yeah, face scars. Her hair's sort of different. It looks more 80s and a bit bigger than usual. She's sort of dressed in like what looks like a power suit as well.
Exactly. This is the same Maude. Did she nip out and get her hair done and come back in the middle of the wedding just to try and steal some of that limelight? Why does she do it?
She doesn't want all the attention, but she wants someone to notice her.
She just wants a few looks. She just wants the odd just like acknowledgement. We've said this before. We don't know if Ned does that. Ned doesn't, because I don't think Ned would really notice. Or maybe he would. Is he a sensitive chap? Does he notice these things? Does he go out of his way to say, "Oh, that's a nice power suit you got on there, modeling"?
Yeah, I think he does.
Love the
I think
pads.
he picks up
Love
on
the
the little
shoulder
things.
pads.
If this is for anybody at that wedding, it's for Sarah Wiggum. To sort of show off to Sarah Wiggum, like, look how good I look, cuz.
Well, that was a lot of things there. A lot of things happened. You got anything else to say on content before we head finally down this ramp and see if we can work out what's going on Dark Side of the Moon?
I do have one more thing that I forgot to say about that clip just then. I'm sure this is a coincidence, but Maude appears on screen the exact second that Homer says the word die.
Not a coincidence. It all adds up. Maude is dead.
As he says the word die, she leans forward and looks at him. I wrote in brackets, so do the rest, but this isn't the rest cast.
Not yet. Rest cast is coming up real soon. So, John Stat and Nathan and me were now, what can I see in front of us here on the Dark Side of the Moon? It's certainly not what I was expecting.
Well, firstly, yeah, it's a lot brighter than they paint it to be. There's floodlights, stadium-sized floodlights, like in
Side of the Moon, formerly known as Dark.
There seems to be a lot of cages as well. There's like a big sectioned off square with cages. Can you see them?
Excuse me, sir. What? That's not a human, Nathan. All of the people wandering around in this kind of like floodlit park, they're like little green alien men and women and children.
and dogs.
And
Hail Leica.
yeah, I
Ducks.
can see a few humans, but they're in the cages. I think this might be a
bloody hell,
human
look.
zoo.
Look, it's a bloody human zoo. Oh no, I was wrong. It was Earth all along.
No, it's not Earth, John.
Oh, bloody hell, what is it? Oh, boys, Erggun's in that cage over there. Erggun, excuse me, madam. What? It's not even a woman or man, it's a little green alien. Oh, they're bloody everywhere. Oh, not racist, but they're bloody everywhere. Oh.
Listen, that's Erggun in that cage over there. Let's go see what he has to say for himself.
Let's do it. It's been a while since we've seen him. I wonder if he's well. He doesn't look it.
Erggun, it's so good to see you. How you doing?
I'm really, really bad.
Oh, why are you in a cage on Dark Side of the Moon, you bloody daft aper?
I got took. I had no choice, John. I was taken by dogs.
What are you wearing under your trackings? Are you got
No.
whose underpants you wearing?
I don't know anymore. At this point, it's hard to tell.
Here's your old ones. Listen, I tried them out a bit on the radiator, but they're still a bit damp. They smell bloody awful. I don't know what you did in them. And the bit, I'll tell you what, I don't even know. You get skids up the side.
Everybody's looking at me.
When you're scratching up your itchy ring, did you literally twist the underpants to the side so you could get some fresh parts to skid up? Boss, I've never seen so many skids. It's like a brown paint.
I didn't think this day could get any worse.
Anyway, Erggun, there you go. Put them on, and let's get let's get the bloody hell out of here.
Should we free? How are we going to free him?
It doesn't look like he's locked.
Oh yeah.
You just have to turn the handle. Erggun, did you not try turning the handle?
You know, they told me it wouldn't work.
Oh, you're just so trusting, aren't you? Come on, come with us. Shall we?
Take these away from me. I don't want to see them or smell them.
Bravo's all the way from Earth. Fire.
Did everybody wear them?
Dr. Stu, them brown stains could only be made by one bum. Yes.
Listen, who's that lass in your cage, Erggun?
Sheila Forrest. She's from, what's that planet from Star Wars? She's from that planet.
Tatooine. Off, Jinx. Erggun, can you go and tell all the other people in the cages that the cages are open?
Yeah, I will.
All right. And while we're doing this, let's take a rest and let's do some spectral speculation, shall we? So
Sure.
Here's the question for me. I would like you to tell me now, once and for all, Maude's journey with pharmacy. It's been too mysterious for too long. What is her history? What are her qualifications? What does she know? And what has she done? Tell me the whole pharmaceutical shebang.
It's time.
It's time.
She did complete a degree at Oral Roberts University in Tulsa. She got a 2-1 in pharmaceutical sciences, and for about 4 to 5 years afterwards, she put it to use. She tried a couple of different places. She tried working in like a big factory for boots, and she tried working in a boot store. And then when she moved to Edinburgh before all that. Basically, as soon as she met Ned, she sacrificed her own independent hopes and dreams to become a wife and mother. But
A damn good one.
exactly, I don't think we should criticize her for that, because I think that was what her heart told her. That's what she wanted. Her head, in the guise of Frank Goodman, told her that the pharmaceutical game was the way forward, but she never had any interest in it. So I think this is why she'll sort of volunteer every now and again in a modern Springfield pre-death, because she's vaguely connected to it. I wouldn't say she's interested in pursuing it, but she knows what she's doing to an extent, and that's fine with her.
Mrs. Pharmacist, can you help me here today? Oh, Mrs. Pharmacist.
Yeah. it was a brief connection for her. It
Brief
wasn't
flirtation.
something. Yeah,
So,
she never. Rod and Todd became her priorities very quickly.
Did she use her pharmaceutical knowledge for good or ill at any point in her life in unusual situations? Maybe we'll
Both.
learn more in a diary at some point, but or maybe you're going to tell us right now.
She used both. She definitely spiked Helen at some point. There was a reason for it. It was like a necessary evil, not just I'm going to spike Helen.
She spiked her.
Also,
She spiked her with poison, and then she re-spiked the drink with medicine that makes you throw up. So Helen ingested the poison, then threw the poison up, and
that's likely.
But it was fun for Maude, and it was horrible for Helen, but it could have been much worse, and Maude knows that.
There's every chance that she is some kind of, what's the word, like not representative, but the person who sort of helps the retirement castle nurses organise the pills. Maybe she pops in every couple of weeks, and that's why
the assisted departure, if you know what I mean. The old
euthanize the elderly.
Now, surely, Nathan, you're not being serious now.
No, she doesn't kill them. But I definitely think she is there somewhat frequently, and that's why Abe and OJM have this like predetermined dislike of her. They already knew her, and they already don't trust her.
And also that they know that she's not, she can be a bit stern at times, but she's not a monster. So, they've kind of lost their fear of her, and they're happy to take the Michael out of her.
Yes.
Knowing that she'll not do naught. Tie her shoelaces together, she'll not do naught.
No, she's too nice. They see her as some kind of nice witch that they can bully.
Interesting.
They don't trust her though.
New vistas opened in front of my very eyes, things I'd never thought of before.
Yes. The old Jewish man and Manjula.
Exactly. Erggun's back. He appears to have opened up all the cages. Erggun, how did that go?
It was relatively easy. I just did it.
Oh my God, what have we done? What have we done? The humans are literally ripping the aliens limb from limb and gorging on their tasty melony flesh.
Yeah, they seem filled with rage. Even that Sheila, the one that was staying with Erggun, is over there in a melon. Like
it didn't help with the fact that the aliens were made of the same delicious flesh as watermelons, and these humans had been starved of fruit and veg for a long, long time by the looks of it. Oh, I think we need to get the bloody hell out of here.
I suggest we do that as well. And from the looks of things, from these briefs, Erggun opened more than the cages.
Oh, our way is being blocked.
That's why.
Oh,
Is it
Barker, I knew you'd come back. We've isolated you, Barker, and we've destroyed your human zoo on the dark side of the moon. What are you going to do about it?
What? I'm going to orphan all your children. What was that?
I bloody squashed him.
Oh, John.
John Poop 17. You just squashed
Dog
Barker.
squasher.
Dog squasher. All right, let's get on this bloody ship and let's help Jeff find Matthew McConaughey and the Star Child and ascend.
Bloody hell, Erggun. I'm so happy for you. Let's get on ship and never talk of those Johnny Dabs again.
Yes, please.
All right, John, take off.
I don't know if I'll fly it.
Not you, the other one.
Not me.
Yeah, you. Take off.
I just told you I don't know if I'll fly.
John, John Poop 17 in the chair.
Me?
Yeah, you. Can you take off the ship?
Yeah, okay.
Well, we did it. We rescued Erggun, and now we're heading off into the edges of space to find the Star Child. What do you think about that, everyone?
I think it's quite an adventure.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that I'm going to get my chance to ascend into space heaven. I'm so happy, and we also got to massacre some dogs along the way. Hee 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 hee.
Does anybody have any food or water for me? It's been months.
Just for this last bit. Shut up and bloody zip your lip. This is going to take a while. Oh, Stamp. Zaz, why don't you make the next 16 hours pass lickety split with a Maud's diary? Have you got one for us?
I do. Hello, it's me, Luan van Houten. I've had to take this diary because, unfortunately, our good friend Maude has passed away. 3 days ago, at the Springfield racecourse, an incident led to her flying from the top of the stadium all the way down onto the top of a Honda Civic, which is new information to everybody who wasn't there. I was there at the scene. She, honest to God, I've never seen. She didn't even resemble a person anymore. There were bits of her that used to be connected that were no longer connected. She had a diary in her mysterious pocket on her cardigan, so I decided I would take it and keep it safe because there's some relatively bad things in here about Ned and her children. So I'm going to keep hold of this diary, and I'm not going to write in it again, but I just thought it was important to address the fact that she had died, and I now have the diary. While I'm here, though, I'm not happy with Pyro anymore. I miss Kirk Van Houten a little bit, and we're going to see how that plays out. I am very sad that Maude died. She was somewhat of a good friend to me, and Springfield won't be the same. Rest in peace, sweet Maude.
Well, that was very nice, wasn't it?
It was.
It was poignant, if somewhat strangely timed. But very poignant. Luan, I'm not sure if it is respectful to simply write the final page in someone's diary, but I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. And
Well, it
at
fills
first,
in.
I was thinking it was Helen and wondering why she hadn't picked up on all the bad stuff being said. But then I realized it was Luan who was saying it, mostly because you said her name, but I wasn't really paying a lot of attention.
It's always good for a podcast. Yeah, so Luan took it after Maude died, but as we know that she continued to write in it post-death. I don't know if Luan's noticed those pages. I don't know if Luan still has the diary now. Well, she obviously doesn't have it now, because I have it now. But in there now, does she have it? That's the question.
It's a very good one, but it's a very good man. Shall we wrap up this episode by everyone singing along? Who else is on this spaceship? We got Stamp, we got Envelope, we got Erggun, we got John Stamp, we got John Poop, Soiichi, and Hobgoblin Rod or Todd, can't remember which one. And I believe over there in the corner is Animate Carbon Todd as well, just sitting there quietly. So let's do the song. Who wants to go first?
Me.
All right, then, Envelope, off you go.
Sat at table with machine bashing a Grandpa Jasper.
Okay, the gentleman says, Maud, has she left a hand feebly?
Max Stone Cragmar, computing producer, what is her training? Is she going to make notes?
Is Maude even in this clip?
As stuff beer can hit back of head.
The claws made her come alive.
Oh,
He pushes both Maude out of the way.
so Maud is sitting there watching. Oh, woof, woof. She's got a big spaced away.
Sloppy writing GTFO.
Sloppy writing GPFO. Splat.
The end. And it's almost as if, as we're fading out, this quote now makes more sense than ever before. I know you're out there, Jacques. Can you do it for us?
The lie is the future, one may venture to say. To tell the truth is, on the contrary, to say what is, or what will have been, and it would instead prefer the past. Ho 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 ho.
Someone told me you had an OnlyFans.
That's Kerry Katona, we sure it.
Well,
I've made my
well.
plug for the next cast, but I'll tell you unrecorded later.
All right. In what they call it, BTS, right?
Yeah.
So,
Korean band.
exactly. Oh, it's dynamite, baby. after content.
Aye.